Welcome, welcome, welcome to another film commentary by the Silent Film Group. This is Rashawn Russell, aka Mr. Russell, and we're gonna do a commentary on Big Trouble in Little China. Now, maybe a few of you may be asking yourself, why, if we have a few people that are going to listen to this commentary, which is our hopes. As the film goes on, I will explain why. So right now I have a black screen and I am about to press play. So if you're going to rock with us, I suggest that you prep to do the same, and I am on the play button in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hitting play now. 20th Century Fox logo just came up on my screen. The music is coming up.
What I'd like to do today is get your version
What happened?
of what happened.
Oh, you mean the truth?
The truth.
Of course.
Of course.
I'm actually behind
First,
when I'm
just
speaking.
state your name
the
and
dialogue.
your
This is just a
occupation.
marker for those that are looking to catch up.
Egg Shen, bus driver.
Bus driver, what kind of bus and where, please?
Tour bus.
Tour bus.
Bus for tourists.
Bus for tourists.
San Francisco,
San Francisco,
Chinatown.
Chinatown.
Okay. Hopefully
Now,
you've caught
well,
up.
before we get to the meat
And
of this thing,
I want to
if
start
it
out
wasn't
discussing this gentleman. I don't know the actor's name at this point, but this film also came out in 1986, and this actor had two films that came out that year of 1986. One being this one, Big Trouble, and the second one being The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy. So he had a nice little run, and then, you know, as the norm within Hollywood, actors basically disappear. They don't use them anymore here in the States. It's little tidbits of my thought process of how Hollywood works, I guess. Another thing I wanted to bring up is that, as many might know, this film is going to get remade, or by the time you listen to this commentary, maybe it will already been remade into a different version with The Rock. And I'm finding that for whatever reason, Hollywood, they're loving to make remakes out of John Carpenter's films, although I did enjoy Rob Zombie's Halloween films. I love those. Those are really good. But I know that they were talking about doing an Escape from New York for a while. And that's, of course, I hope they don't even bother. I mean, it would really have to be really, 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 really good. Okay, now we have our intro setting up. The truck is coming down the road and about to pop up on the hill, and intro into Jack Burton, played by probably a relative of mine, Kurt Russell. I just love he's just running his mouth and just talking just a bunch of nonsense just to keep himself, I guess, maybe active on the road, make sure he doesn't fall asleep. Like he thinks he has a radio show. Say, hey, have you paid your dues? Paid your dues? You look... And he pauses. Your dues? It's in the mail. It feels, for whatever reason, just feels like total improv. I take it that this is the Golden Gate Bridge. Anyhow, getting back to this remake with The Rock, I, I personally don't think it's a good idea. Um, Although I do highly believe that The Rock is capable of pulling off this character. The only thing that kind of differentiates it is that he's so goddamn muscular, that, the people that he takes on are probably going to have to be his size or just really, really great martial artists if they're going in that direction, unless they're just going with, Fight Club style action scenes. I know that they're working on the rewrite, or at least conceptualizing the story from last that I read. So I personally think instead of him doing this film, he should actually do a sequel to The Rundown, because the character's almost similar, but not. Basically, this film seems like they could have had a number of sequels had it had been like massively successful. Jack Burton could have gone on to, had done a couple of other adventures, or with his partner in crime. Maybe they could have gone overseas and done something. But yeah, enough with the remakes, please. And there's a character that I'm actually working on for a film, or it might be a film series that is loosely based on this character. So, and I've always enjoyed the pairing of John Carpenter and Kurt Russell. And I wonder why they stopped working together. I mean, I guess John Carpenter at a point kind of got a little... I've read articles where he was a little disheartened and bitter about the industry and how they treat him, and even more so now how they treat his work. I believe that he's not a big fan of this remake, and I do think that The Rock wants to bring him aboard as a consultant or something, but whatever. This actor as well had a nice little run, and then the same, just faded to black, disappeared. I believe he was also on a television show called The Midnight Caller with Gary Cole, about a former cop that turned into a radio host, and of course was somehow stopping crimes, whatever. But I believe that this gentleman was the producer of the radio show and would actually help him solve the crimes. And the odd thing, I think, is that the radio host, the Gary Cole's character, and I'm guessing, but I have a feeling that his name was Jack as well. I love that scene. It's all in the reflexes. I'd like to know whose idea was it for his sidekick to have that hat on. Actually, in reality, Jack is the sidekick, so love the line that comes up when he says, eyes like creamy jade. That's why I couldn't cut through the glass. North and south. I wish that he had delivered his lines a little slower. See, and now the hat is gone, which I'm glad. And introducing Kim Cattrall, who I feel doesn't get enough credit for being the comedic actress that she really is. Like creamy jade. She plays off him extremely well when they meet. Right off the opening, here she goes. She's gonna sing him. I always thought that she had a big face for whatever reason. At a point, I should say, not still. And guess who else has green eyes? And it would have been interesting if the young lady that she's coming to pick up, if she had green eyes as well. Have a trifecta of green eyes in this film. And I'm saying this with the hopes that people listening have already seen this film, because if not, then you've just been spoiled. And I hate that term spoiled or spoiler. Ever since that came into consciousness, it's basically created an environment where people enjoy telling you exactly what happened in a film, especially when you tell them that you haven't seen it. Love how Jack just plays the foil here. You know, throughout the entire film, you know, a guy that talks it but doesn't walk it. And if you notice throughout the film, the layers of clothing that will get removed from Jack's character throughout. First he started with the little trench and the cap. Now it's the hooded number with the cap. Soon it'll be the tank top and no cap. I like this shot, the way he just stands there. It looks like two cardboard cutouts for a second. It's really weird how they have her in the trunk. Like her neck just looked like it's in a pay. Her neck just looks like it's just in a jacked up position. Son of a bitch must pay. Great line as well. Puma. Plug. I wonder if this film actually had a bigger budget and then got cut down toward the end. That's right, his name is Egg. Wang Egg. Can you get any more original with the character names here? I wonder if how they're gonna build the Egg character in a remake, if they're gonna still have this character, and if so, what type of character. Like, is he still gonna be a bus driver? He's gonna be an Uber driver now, or Lyft. And he's just able to whip it like that, right? Go right now, and it's just that easy. I always think about how narrow that alley is. And when this stuff starts to jump off, like, how in the hell will we get out of here? And what the fuck is that she's chopping up, man? And I wonder who they're gonna cast as his partner. And I'm expecting that the martial arts scenes are gonna have to be doubly better in the remake if it gets made. I love how it just got foggy. And that guy they just showed used to be in like every friggin' movie when they needed a villain. At least he's ready. Kind of got into like a martial arts stance, did his little breathing, and then all of a sudden they just pull out guns and start firing. See, I think I would take this part out with the gunplay and just go straight to the martial arts. And just have a bevy of people fighting in the street. It would just make it seem a little bit more, action packed and interesting to watch them sit in the truck and just see people just getting slaughtered. Because I don't know, to me it's like you just did this whole thing with guns, knocked down a bunch of people, and now we're gonna do martial arts. It's usually, normally it should be the reverse. You start out with the martial arts, and then someone picks up a gun and starts spraying people. Kind of like a cheat code. Because it's like, well, why even fight when we have these guns and we can just, knock you guys down? But now we're going to fight because we ran out of bullets. Everybody's me mugging. That guy was in every fucking 80s movie when they needed a villain. I want to say he was in The Golden Child as well, but I can't remember. I'll probably do a commentary on that film. That looked like a serious thick piece of wood just to be snapping his head through it. It'd be interesting to have these guys as they're sitting in the truck placing wagers, because it seemed like that's how the story started, with them freaking making bets. If you had Jack and Wang in there, like, all right, I'm taking 30 on beige or 40 on black. Ooh. For some reason, when that guy just did this kick, I just can see them saying this film is going to be in 3D if they do this remake. He switches the knife from one hand to the other hand, but is yet to have gotten out of the truck. This dude's got one of the biggest heads in the world. I think it also, for a remake concept, if these guys don't have faces, that would be pretty interesting. You put 3 martial art villains on the screen. They don't have faces. Maybe, like, just for an example, one represents see no evil, the other speak, the other is hear, something to that effect. Each, represents a different power of some sort. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? This is so corny. Oh, that's so corny. But I mean, you have to go into this, understand that it's campy. I mean, upon first, seeing this, once you sit back and you understand. That's why I asked earlier what were the effect, what was the budget, if the budget got cut down, because I feel like they could have. This was kind of silly too, and they just move out the way of the truck. Right through him. Sorry, Lopan. Lopan, Fu Manchu out. Okay, now the hat is gone. Oh, it's actually not a hoodie. It's just a sweater. And it's one of those sweaters that you that people wear on the beach in front of a campfire. Pull over. And we're about to dump the sweater soon. So this so reminds me of Escape from New York, when you just crawls through that window. Right into the Cafe Bustelo. Subtitles, guys, subtitles. The 3 storms. They dip underneath. I like this part. Up there goes the. Yeah, lucky you, you made it with his fucking jeans and boots. It's almost Snake Plissken's twin brother, man. Sloppier twin brother. I actually read that they're doing a comic book where Jack Burton and Snake Plissken meet. I don't know if it's a Big Trouble comic or if it's a Escape from New York or Escape from. Also want to note, in my opinion, I think that this is a quote-unquote chakra story. And if you notice that various colors are used which represent the chakra, especially when they started with the green. And now Jack has on the blue. And then when Kim Cattrall comes in, and actually when this guy comes in, he has on the purple right there. Okay, I would say in the remake he would have to be extremely funny. Because he seems like in this film he's a guy that has some information. I think it would be a interesting concept to still have that type of a phone in the remake as well. You know, where you make a comment like, damn, how ancient is this place, or something to that effect. I lost a whole girl. Damn, that's a big bag of salt. And she comes in with her red. And purple. Dark and stormy night. Is he actually washing his clothes and he has them hanging on the line? Or is it that this rain got his clothing wet and he's hanging them on the line? These people. He's lying his ass off just trying to get Jack to help him out. That's an exaggeration, Jack, I promise. I'm bullshitting you because I'm scared to go by myself. Another shit talker. Is complete equal. Caught you. Dogs. The white tiger. Meanwhile, she gets out. Well, never mind. Just, it's a dumb comment that I was gonna make. It's funny that one time I was watching Scandal and it totally dawned on me that Kate Burton was the same young lady in Big Trouble in Little China, and my mouth was just open. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, she was in Big Trouble." This is where he plays himself, talks too much. Busted. Any way they even wrote it. That's so goddamn creepy, that little hallway within the hallway. Like a shady bathhouse or a shady masseuse, shady massage parlor. It would have been a cooler move rather than having her walk down that hallway. Just because he said green eyes, she walked down the hallway and then goes into the room, and then they just show her tied up. You should have just went to, like, a screen where they had her on video watching her. There's that green, where they just had her on video and you saw her that she was tied up. To go in that room and do all that, it's like, for what? I mean, I get it's to check on her, but you could have checked on her just by looking at the monitor rather than walking down that hall and doing all that. There's something that I noticed that I hadn't seen before in this scene that happens toward the end of this scene. I didn't realize that they flew off when they're on top of the roof. Here's my thing. How the hell do they even know? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, yeah. All right. I was going to say, how the hell do they even know that she has green eyes, but they're the ones who hired the thugs to come grab her in the airport? So obviously Lopan must have summoned the spirits and tapped into something, because he just knew that she was coming into town. I thought that was cool when he elevates in the air. Now this little scene right here, that right there, I never saw that before, when he just, diagonally goes in the air. This shit right here, I don't understand. Like, why in the fuck are they carrying him in? And then they sit him down, like, as if he was in some fucking fight club and they had to drag his ass out. They just carry him in. Litzenberger. It's funny because I always thought that Kim Cattrall's character was always a reporter for whatever reason, back in the day. The truth? God, that acting, that delivery of that line is so bad. I'm going now, alone if I have to. So convincing. Like the wind. With your face. Unfortunately, Jack, Snake Plissken is en route to try to save the president. Because that would never happen. How about saying that line as you come down the stairs? Ah, so they do have video cameras, so they could have totally have just done the scene that I mentioned earlier rather than having her go into that room. Damn, do you have enough Buddhas? Unless there's cocaine in them. Dragon of the Black Pool. That would be a good name instead of Big Trouble in Little China if they called that. Dragon of the Black Pool with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I wonder who they're gonna have cast him opposite. Hopefully it's not Carla Gugino. Even though I do like hers that they can't do every freaking film together. If they're actually gonna go with the Green Eyed storyline, I could see someone like Rashida Jones probably taking on the Kim Cattrall character. Gracie Law. That'd be very interesting. Because I think she's extremely talented. She could play up against anybody. Especially when it comes to doing comedy. Not backwards, downwards. And Jack has on yet another jacket, which probably ends up getting taken off. I believe, actually, it does. I love that line. It basically just describes religion in a small nutshell. We take what we want and leave the rest. See, I wouldn't have this little debate. It would be them working, and working together to try to put together some sort of a plan or, gathering up the troops. Who's the guy in the back that looks like he's asleep? Out of focus. Oh, there goes the jacket. What's your idea? I'm surprised his hand isn't burning right now with that Bic in his hand. BIC. I wonder what was the concept of having these dead bodies. Oh yeah, he does explain it when they come up from water, but he doesn't thoroughly explain it. Something upside down. I love the upside down. Hey, you. Wow. Took his hat off just like a girl. And of course, you see the use of red again. I didn't understand the concept of having them tied up to wheelchairs. Other than having the gimmick when the wheelchair rolls and what we're going to see earlier. I think that's like his, well, I was going to say that's his one line, but I think he has a few others. This fucker looks like death meets death. I love how when he rolls by, as he stands in front of that monitor, it just went to shit. Like the image just got blurred, started like rolling, as you can see in the side. Yeah, I was like, he didn't miss that bad, son. I wonder who they're gonna get to play Lopan. Look at that guy with green eye. That motherfucker's skin looked like herpes on top of VD on top of cancer. Skin the life. Is this simple understand? Skin the life. But you look sharp though. Now they could have condensed all of that dialogue into something shorter. He's gonna say a girl with green eyes like 3 freaking times already. My girls will be lifted. Indeed. It's too bad David Lee Roth was never a fucking actor, because I think it'd have been a very interesting switch. Take out Kurt Russell and put in Diamond Dave back in the day. Oh my god, you could tell that door did not close properly, the first one, when they slid. I can help you. Guy's got the biggest head. I think his head is the reason why his suit is so big. Alright, I can totally see in the remake these things hanging, skeletons would be zombies. Skeletons, got brain fart. Of course, the typical Hollywood cliche, he's untied in like, 45 seconds. Y'all getting gassed. This guy has one line that had me rolling, and it'll be coming up soon. He starts tapping the wall. I would totally change that up. That you know something you're not telling me. And just have him say, Wang say something, to the effect of, I haven't been completely honest, and then just kicks in the storyline. Mr. Maitre D. Could took his knife. He should have stabbed him right in his fucking throat. I wouldn't even hesitated. As soon as he did that, I would have stabbed him right in his fucking throat. Could have already had him open already. Had that throat open. Sitting there trying to fucking negotiate. And why is he saying how? As if he was trapped under him. You jumped on him. Boom. And I love how they just stand there and watch. They don't give chase. They don't try to chase the wheelchair down. They just stand. Now see, if they did this scene with The Rock and he has to do that with the wheelchair, it would be a funny line. Someone goes, use your abs. Use your abs. Use your abs, Jack. I like that rifle. No, pathetic excuse. As. I take it that he's talking to one of those three storms. That was disgusting how that nail just grew out. Perfect time for a flashback. He's got the ultimate coke nail, dead ass. See, this whole scene, I don't even... It's just not necessary. See, when the screen went white, he could have just in his mind seen her laying, you know, and then did his little dialogue or whatever. But to have him float in the room and all that, that I would have not even, because it brings nothing to the story, as far as I'm concerned. Because we know she's held in there, and we know she's no. As I was saying, yeah, that scene brought nothing to the story other than let's utilize a special effect, have him float in, you know, put his hands through her body, yada yada yada. And if there's any filmmakers that are, you know, listening to this, you know that even 10 seconds, 15 seconds of screen time, you could do so much with it, so much. Even 3 seconds, a 3-second clip of something or whatever, it makes a whole hell of a difference. And that's, you know, 10 to 15 seconds that you could have utilized to really do something with the story. I hate when they do stuff like this in films too, or in television, in stories in general. It pisses me off because I'm of the mindset of like, why put something in if you know it's going to fail? You know, for them to come and pull the guns out and then, you know, have the girls just basically pop the weapons out their hands. To me, it's just stupid. See, it would have been better if they showed up, you know, if he showed up with the cat with the gun to his head, and then you see the two come out of the cage, and then like a whole shitload of other females come out from the other side. So basically, like, you're surrounded. So now what? If you're gonna shoot him, shoot him. But if not, we're gonna, you know, we still got you. To do all that. Oh, I'm going to shoot him, da-da-da, and then they get out, and then they pop the guns out their hands. It just makes them look stupid, and it just makes me go, okay, well, why even have this scene in? You know, I get, you know, it's a device to get Jack in, but you might as well just come up with another way. Because it's like a false hope that I think it's been overdone. Yeah, like the guy in purple was doing all the work. He's sighing and shit. I didn't see him do one fucking thing. AKA the maitre d'. It's funny how they just knew how to jump in the water. They just knew automatically, like, that's where they were going. All the girls that broke free, they just knew to jump in the water. Funny. Now, what's funny about this, the fact that they're shooting in the water, is a few seconds ago when they were shooting, the guy with the big head just like he charged through the middle, in between them, as if, the guns didn't matter. Now all of a sudden he stops at the top of the bridge and he's like, shoot in the water now. Hey! They're such a comic book pair. Yeah, sure. Well, you guys jumped in there like you knew where you were going. I wonder if that was a blooper where he just couldn't say this is like a central, and he goes sewer. Like if by chance he was having problems getting that line for whatever reason. It looks like a goddamn waffle. I'm saying that because I might be a little hungry. Oh, this is fucking funny. He runs to the door. We're gonna go through here. Yada yada yada. Dong. I love how Jack gives the explanation. Wang says it in, I guess, Chinese so that the ladies will understand it. And then Gracie Law goes, like, everybody got that? As if that's the only words in English that they can understand because she says everybody got that. He's getting his in. What's funny is that he came out from the same angle, the same direction from whence he ran into. He jumps out, the same location. You hit behind that panel, then jump back out. It's not like he went another direction. This is when the creature that they saved from Creepshow comes out. Too much fucking instructions. Just go. The door is just fucking... Oh, that's right. I forgot. Remember Sky. Nosy. They would have been as shredded as fucking cheese, man. See, they did a shit edit here. Sorry, Carpenter. The truck should have, the school bus should have pulled off, and then, of course, they should have fired. Because they were in park for a while. It's enough time for the bullet holes to tag somebody, and nobody got tagged. I love that shit because when he jumps down, I just had this feeling like he is holding her and he was on top of like a 3-foot ladder and he just jumped into frame. Boom. Where's the third stringer? Why they got rapey laughs? Two guys with green eyes. I think I might have worked with some dudes that sound exactly like Homeboy does. Two guys with green eyes. It's not funny, man. He's doing that shit to her. When he got cursed, he got cursed. No toothbrush. No. Nothing for them fucking teeth. These are our friends. These are the Chang Sings. Oh, these are the Chang Sings. Stupid. He's got a crush on you. She dissed the shit out of him. That's that shit right there. Pray your cause are right. Love to talk about it. It's the shit. Pray your cause are right. Live to talk about it. Meanwhile, off camera's like, do I really have to say this line this way? Mr. Carpenter, can I really? Just say the fucking line so we can go home. Pray your cause are right. Live to tell about it. No. Her one line, yo, for real. See, this is more like wasted time on dialogue because we, as a viewer, already know what his goal is for Green Eyes, so he's doing the same shit again. Like the same exposition. And by this point, Gracie's character should already know what they were getting into and why. So to have to go through this again, you know, it's once again 10 seconds that could have been, exposition on something else, or just another scene that just really, you know, adds more weight to this film. So these motherfuckers drink that pack. It'd have been awesome if it slid down there and went right into the goddamn Batman's tunnel. I love that, the way his face just goes. See, I think a better idea for a remake, if they continue with this, is for The Rock just to produce this and let someone else push someone else into the lead. I thought this was a fucking waste of time. This whole ritual, and goes in slow motion, and as if they're supposed to be hypnotized and get brainwashed for whatever reason. They could have cut this down. This is the go get popcorn part of the movie. You could have actually just had someone read something, so that the viewer can understand that they're going under a deeper trance rather than doing all that shit. This fucking scene is funny, man. It's like he was saying something, but it was so vague. They could have totally written something much better. He's still fucking doing this shit. Man, they could have totally cut this shit out. They could have done something. Done something with crystals. Crystal placement or something. This crystal represents this. This one represents that. This one represents this. Whatever small ritual. We get ready for the wedding. All this is just like. Man, I love John Carpenter, but upon now, like, just doing the commentary, I don't know, I'm looking at it with a different perspective. So that's the burning blade. Now, they could have just for a double marriage. could, like I said, place a couple of crystals, then put the blade, burn the blade, put the blade in his skin, nothing happens. Oh, they've passed the blade, the double, whatever the fuck is. This is fucking funny. Of course, what does he throw? It looks like crystals. Where the fuck did they make that monster up? It's like someone had it around from a Roger Corman film, and Carpenter just called it, "Hey man, can we borrow that?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." Now, why do this as well? Because she's going to go under hypnosis again. Whites. You know what I mean? So it's like, what was the sense in that? Because she wasn't under hypnosis. She snapped out of it, and now she's back under hypnosis. So it's not like she came out of hypnosis and then like was able to pick the lock and they could escape, or she could do something that would lead you to think, okay, she's faking it. This is funny. So when he starts there, like, hey! Cliche. It's when they drink the pack. Now, that exposition, he could have told him that when they were underground in the tunnel, rather than talking about the earthquake and yada yada that had nothing to do with like anything for whatever reason. Or they could have included that and made that scene a little bit longer for that exposition, and then cut out the other nonsense with the dancing martial artist nonsense. And of course, hopefully they'll make the cave creepier in the quote-unquote remake. Now, see, that's a very interesting concept to have those guys dress up like that. We need more of those. It's just like so many things that they could have expounded on, which, of course, makes me wonder what budgetary constraints, if there were any. I got to check the behind the scenes and sniff around and find out what I can find out. Comes that dirty cookie. This will probably end up being an orb of some sort or drone in the remake. And are those rats? They're like the statues look like rats with masks on. Right there, like standing rats. Hey, you never know until you try. That's a fucking wasted line too. You know what I don't like about this? Whereas ever, how about, you know what I don't like about this? What? Everything. More wasted time with this, the way that they put the whole wedding together. He's got to come down the escalator. They had to come down the escalator. Ah. Fuck it. Time to drink that pack. It's time for the medicine. It's that pee pack, yo. I have no idea why they had him use that stupid fucking quote when it's called Big Trouble in Little China. And he could have, utilized a ancient, Chinese quote, something with some, heavy meaning, metaphysical meaning, whatever. Yo, stop touching me, man. He just touches him like, yeah, feel nice. As soon as they came out the elevator, it would just been on. I wouldn't have even stopped here. But I mean, because we know what they're doing. So he has to like whisper to him, oh, they're doing such and such. Like, nah, as soon as we get off the elevator, it's gangbusters. Let's just go in. He shouldn't even be talking right now. There should just be bullets just flying and asses getting kicked. Ah, okay, yeah, I forgot that part. Or it would have been cooler knowing that now is if they were discussing that upon drinking rather than doing the to the red, white, and blue. Just be like, hey, look, when we get downstairs, we gotta, if we're in time, we gotta wait for him to become flesh. This and that's gonna happen. So everybody get in their positions, squat up. Then he's ours for certain. It just looks so bad. You could tell like he's not even pushing it in. Like he did that for that close up shot and then like stopped. Game on. Bow, bow, bow. He fucking knocks himself out, man. This motherfucker's out for like the fucking fight. See, but I think that they need more of that. If they're gonna do a remake with The Rock, they need way more. He needs to be. I would say, I would make him a little bit more clumsier. Not a fucking idiot, not a fucking fool, but just a little bit, tiny bit more clumsier. So that, you know, it's built up. So when he does that, you know where it comes from. Especially when you have somebody like The Rock, you know, if they're going to go in that direction. And it's going to take a little bit more than a couple little rocks, no pun intended, to hit him over the head and knock his big ass out. And they need more Wang because he gets busy in this. And I think they could do a shitload more with him. Busting tail. More than what they've already shown. Because in essence, it is his film. Psh. Now, it would have been interesting. One thing that just hits me, they neglected, is that Jack's character doesn't have any, I guess, quote unquote, superpowers, because he drank that medicine along with everyone else. You know, so he should be able to do something, you know, out of the ordinary. Or at least something that would make him, you know, look dope on screen after, you know, basically shooting himself in the foot. I thought that this scene when they fight was one of the worst conceptualized ideas that John Carpenter could have ever come up with. Not this scene right here. This scene, that was dope. But when they do the whole video game, this shit right here. That shit was, this was very... If this was the case, then you should get a younger person to play Lopan and a younger person to play Egg. So that they can really get busy and not do this video game. And once again, those chakra colors. So Jack basically spends the fight scene knocked out or caught up in with the goofball that he got his knife stuck into. That was slick. Now you would think that he wouldn't want to drag her up there to go get Wang. He would want to keep her out of trouble. Film's creep show. Had a knife, should just cut him open. I took something. Meanwhile, he's been halfway laid on his ass. I took something. HIV protected. Ah, she did have more than one line. Chang Tai. By destroying this. Wow. Kill him for me! Burton, me. I mean, that could have actually been a very cool ass fight with Jack and the big headed dude. And they could have still set this up. So all that exposition, all that time they wasted, they could have actually put that into that fight. And then Wang comes in, helps out. And then this scene, Sow! On the reflexes. Bow. Wang. That shit is so fucking stupid. Like, why would you have him? Like I said, I love John Carpenter, but that shit makes no sense. He's chasing Wang, he stops, then decides to chop the fucking statue in half, as if that's gonna get him closer to fucking Wang. And he's wasting energy. He's dead. If I could just combust, like, I want to go be with my master. It's like, my master checked out, I'm checking out. Oh my god. Ah. I hope they definitely do something better with that. See, that actually could have gone into a nice fight scene where he sees Lopan dead and he gets pissed off, and then they continue to fight, and then something else happens, you know, where maybe he would spontaneously combust. And I'm basically like, why am I watching this guy do this dance? I'd rather just charge him. This actually becomes a film where Jack doesn't even have a major fight scene. She's too heavy. Kind of feels like Escape from New York now that I think about it. Going over the wall. Now you would think that him being, an elder, that he would have Jack, or they would come up with the idea of Jack taking the Buddha and throwing that on top of him, and then coming up with some humorous, line of dialogue. Like the one he used earlier. Hell, you don't know unless you try. See, I wouldn't have even had that with the officers. As soon as the door opens, he should have just threw the bombs. He has to talk himself into remembering. Because all that gunfire is just, it's not going to amount to nothing. Jack is going to get hit, so just destroy them. As soon as that door slides open, as soon as Jack lets that door go, my man Egg throws those bombs in there. Boom. Or if you want to add, dramatic license, he lets the door go. We see the officers all kind of line up. You see Jack run. Then you just see the bombs get thrown, and boom. Then he hops inside the truck. Starts, does his little thing, and this is where we're at now. Green chakra. This motherfucker's getting high. Now see, this right here would have been a great line of dialogue for Egg to set something up for a sequel. Never mind, I'm not going to even go there. Anyway, yeah. So he's like, hey, Egg, where you going? And just has this line of dialogue that basically sets up, hey, there's something going on in China and I got to go over there. I promised myself that once I, was able to defeat Lo Pan, XYZ, XYZ. Way. She's ready to go too, boy. Kiss her goodbye. Try some Gone with the Wind type, Casablanca type shit. Not Gone with the Wind. Some Casablanca type shit without the kiss. But I'll kiss you. Now he has on his original clothing. Sans the sweater. Now, my whole thing is, how the hell did this fucking creep show know, one, that this was Jack's truck, two, to get the hell out and jump on the truck, because he just knew that the truck was going to leave? The Pork Chop Express. Ah! We got big trouble in Little China. Jeffrey Mata, I know that name. But anyway, thank you for sitting through this commentary on Big Trouble in Little China and my crazy ass thoughts on what they could have done better and what they should do if this is going to get remade with Dwayne Johnson. And I guess in time we shall see what we shall see. And on that note, I am peacing you people out. I hope that this was somewhat entertaining. But I'm Ghost.